Welcome to Math with Professor V. Here is your latest series of the day, and this one is thanks to one of our channel members who requested that I determine the convergence or divergence of this infinite series. So we have the sum n equals 1 to infinity of n raised to the n over 3 raised to the n cubed plus 1. So if you want to pause the video, try it on your own. When I first looked at this, I was debating whether I should do ratio test or root test, but because of the way the denominator is, I decided against root test. So to start off, we're going to do ratio test. And remember, we take the limit as n approaches infinity of the absolute value of a sub n plus 1 over a sub n. Now I'm looking, none of the terms are going to be negative, so I don't really need to keep writing absolute value bars in this limit. And I'm already going to just start simplifying as I go. So we're going to have n plus 1 raised to the n plus 1 over 3 raised to the n plus 1 cubed plus 1 divided by a sub n, which is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of a sub n. So 3 raised to the n cubed plus 1 over n raised to the n. All right, now from here, our job is to clean this up so we can try to evaluate the limit. And first thing I want to do is focus on n plus 1 raised to the n plus 1. We're going to break that up, write it as n plus 1 raised to the n times n plus 1 to the first power. In the denominator, 3 raised to the n plus 1 quantity cubed, I'm going to expand all of that. So n plus 1 cubed is n cubed plus 3n squared plus 3n plus 1, but then I have another plus 1, so plus 2. And then this is times 3 raised to the n cubed plus 1 over, straighten up please, over n to the n. Okay, hopefully you're as excited as I am because we can start grouping things together and canceling out. So everything that's being raised to the n, I'm gonna group together. I have n plus 1 to the n and n raised to the n. So I'm gonna write this as the limit. As n approaches infinity, I have n plus 1 over n. All of that is raised to the n. Then I have another n plus 1 hanging out. Don't mind that term. And then we have 3 to the n cubed plus 1 over 3 to the n cubed plus 3n squared plus 3n plus 2. Now I can cancel out the entire numerator, 3 to the n cubed plus 1, and get rid of n cubed here, and this 2 becomes a 1. If that was a little aggressive for you, let me explain. Let me explain what's going on. So as a little aside, if you need to kind of review your law of exponents, if you have 3 to the n cubed plus 1, that's the same as 3 to the n cubed times 3 to the first. And then everything in the denominator too, I could write as 3 to the n cubed times 3 to the 3n squared times 3 to the 3n times 3 squared, right? So then I can just go ahead, cancel out 3 to the n cubed, cancel out one of the powers of 3, and then this becomes a 1. All right, moving on, then what do we have here? So we've got the limit as n approaches infinity, n plus 1 over n to the n. I'm going to write it as n over n plus 1 over n to the n times, then we just have n plus 1 over 3 to the 3n squared plus 3n plus 1. Okay, what to do? Focus on the limit of each of the factors here in the limit separately. Do you recognize what that first term is going to approach? This is the limit n approaches infinity, 1 plus 1 over n raised to the n. That approaches e. That's our definition for E, Euler's constant, as n gets arbitrarily large. If you don't know that off the top of your head, then you would need to prove it defining a function of x, and then applying L'Hopital's rule. I can show you how to do that in a minute if you need. Then this other term here, we have n plus 1 over 3 to the 3n squared plus 3n plus 1. Now, intuitively, you probably feel like this is going to approach 0. Why do I say that? Well, because exponential functions always grow faster than any polynomial, but we should prove it and show that explicitly. And in order to do that, we need to use L'Hopital's rule, because notice the numerator is approaching infinity, the denominator is approaching infinity. And as I've said a bunch of times, you're not allowed to apply L'Hopital's rule when working with the terms of a sequence or series because they're not differentiable. So we have to define a function of x. So you say, as an aside, we're going to let f of x equal x plus 1 over 3 to the 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. And then I want to look at what's the limit as x approaches infinity of x plus 1 over 3 to the 3x squared plus 3x plus 1. So I can see, yeah, numerator and denominator are both approaching infinity, so we can apply L'Hopital's rule and then take the derivative of the numerator independently from the derivative of the denominator. So derivative of x plus 1 is just 1. Derivative of an exponential function with base other than e, you just have to add on natural log of whatever that base is. So you would still have 3 to the 3x squared plus 3x plus 1 times ln of 3, and then we still have to do the chain rule, times derivative of the exponent, which would be 6x plus 3. But in the end, notice I have a constant in the numerator. The denominator is approaching infinity, so this limit's going to be 0. Like our gut feeling, right? We said, hey, I feel like this is always going to grow way faster than the numerator. But on an exam or whatever, I would show everything. I wouldn't make conclusions without explicitly showing my reasoning. Okay, so then this term here is approaching 0. So then we can go back to the limit and say we have first term approaching e, that's a constant. Second term approaching 0, they're being multiplied together. E times 0, that's 0. We used the ratio test, so what do I care about this limit? That it is less than 1. So then let's write up our conclusion down here. This tells me that the sum, n equals 1 to infinity, of n to the n over 3 to the n cubed plus 1 converges by the ratio test. Okay, now if you didn't know off the top of your head that the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 plus 1 over n to the n is equal to e, then again you would have to let f of x equal 1 plus 1 over x to the x. We can't apply L'Hopital's rule unless we have an indeterminate form of the type 0 over 0 or infinity over infinity. So when we have these indeterminate powers, the base is approaching 1, the exponent's approaching infinity, that's an indeterminate form. Then we consider natural log of that indeterminate power. So we have natural log of 1 plus 1 over x to the x. And we do that so we can move that exponent down in the front. So then we have x times natural log 1 plus 1 over x. So now when we look at the limit, as x goes to infinity, I can force this into a fraction. I can make a quotient out of it. So we have ln 1 plus 1 over x over 1 over x. And then you see now as x goes to infinity, 1 over x will go to 0. I have ln of 1 in the numerator, so that's approaching 0. The denominator is also approaching 0, so we can go ahead and apply L'Hopital's rule. So then we have the limit as x approaches infinity. Derivative of the numerator is going to be 1 over 1 plus 1 over x. Then we have to do the chain rule. So derivative of 1 plus 1 over x is negative 1 over x squared. Derivative of the denominator will be the same. Lucky for us, then these just cancel out. Beautiful. So then we have the limit as x approaches infinity of 1 over 1 plus 1 over x. And then from here, I can just proceed to take the limit. X goes to infinity, 1 over x is going to go to 0. So I'm just left with 1 plus 0 in the denominator. I have 1 over 1, that's 1. But remember, this was not the limit of my original f of x. This was the limit as x approaches infinity of the natural log of f of x. That was 1. And if I want the limit of f of x, I have to take e and raise it to both sides. Because then basically you can say the limit as x approaches infinity of e raised to the natural log of f of x, which is the limit as x approaches infinity of f of x is e to the first. Whew, so at long last, then we can say the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 plus 1 over n to the n is also e. Hopefully your instructor will let you just use the fact that this is our definition of e on your exam without having to prove it, but just check with them. And in case you run into any other indeterminate powers, this is the technique that you would use to evaluate those limits. This was like a really fast and furious breakdown of how to use L'Hopital's rule on indeterminate powers. So if you need a full-length video lecture or more examples where I work through them more slowly, then don't worry, I got a video lecture for you. I have several. I'll link them into the description, but this was just a quick aside in case you needed a little refresher. Anyways, thank you to the member who asked for this video. I hope it was helpful, and thank you all for your support. Give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you solved this series problem differently, if you determined the convergence or divergence using a different method. I'm curious to hear. Also, if you need to review sequences in series, I'll link all the video lectures in the description, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Math with Professor V. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love you all. I'll be back sooner than later. Bye.